Chicken with a penis. A viral video on social media showed a chicken with a strange protrusion on the lower part of its body. Its shape resembled a human genital, leading many people to believe that the chicken had a penis like a human. The video quickly spread and caused confusion because the chicken's appearance looked highly unusual. This is chicken polymelia, one of the strangest cases of limb mutation ever found in poultry. Chicken polymelia occurs due to an embryonic developmental disorder that causes additional body parts to grow abnormally. In this case, the protrusion thought to be a penis is actually believed to be an extra limb that failed to develop properly. According to National Geographic, modern chickens do not have a penis like mammals, but instead possess a small reproductive organ called a cloaca. Such abnormalities are extremely rare in poultry, as they are more commonly found in animals like cows, frogs, and pigs. Despite its unsettling appearance, some animals with this condition can still live normally as long as the extra limb does not interfere with their movement. Purple polar bear. In the early 2000s, a polar bear at a zoo in Argentina began drawing attention because of its highly unusual appearance. Instead of having white fur like a typical polar bear, this animal appeared bright purple across most of its body. Many visitors were shocked when they saw it in person, as the color made the bear look like a mutant animal or something out of a science fiction film. However, behind its striking look, the purple polar bear was not the result of a natural genetic mutation. After further investigation, the color change was found to be caused by a chemical reaction involving cleaning agents used in the bear's enclosure. The cleaning substance reacted with the bear's white fur and gradually turned it purple. The purple polar bear became famous not only for its unusual fur color, but also because many people genuinely believed the animal had undergone a bizarre mutation. Photos and stories about the bear spread widely, leaving many people curious about how a polar bear could change color so drastically. Cyclops sheep. Cases of cyclopia in animals are not always caused by ordinary genetic mutations. In the late 1950s, many farmers in the United States were shocked by the birth of lambs with severely abnormal faces and eyes. Their appearance resembled the mythical Greek creature known as the Cyclops. At first, the condition was suspected to be caused by radiation or chemical exposure. However, after further research, scientists discovered that the mother sheep had eaten certain poisonous plants during pregnancy. These plants contained a substance called cyclopamine, which disrupted the development of the embryo's brain during its earliest stages. As a result, the head failed to divide into two normal sides. Because the process that separates the eyes did not occur properly, the two eyes fused into a single eye in the center of the face. Most Cyclops sheep were unable to survive long after birth because their brain and respiratory organs also developed abnormally. Beaked bird. This case comes from a home in Northampton, England. A woman named April Britt discovered a baby bird with an appearance that was almost impossible to believe. The tiny bird had 2 heads and 3 beaks at once, making it look like a mutant creature from a horror film. One of the beaks was positioned in the center and appeared underdeveloped, while the 2 heads were fused together on the same small body. This phenomenon is known as a two-headed bird, one of the rarest deformity cases ever found in wild birds. Two-headed birds occur due to an embryonic developmental abnormality before hatching. As a result, vital organs such as the throat, nervous system, and digestive tract often do not form properly. When it was found near a tree, the chick appeared extremely weak and struggled to survive on its own. Experts say that animals with deformities like this have very low chances of survival, especially in the wild. After being photographed, the baby bird later disappeared and was never found again. One-horned deer. A one-horned deer is a rare abnormality in which a deer is born or grows with a single antler emerging from the center of its head. Because of its appearance, it's often compared to the mythical unicorn. This condition usually occurs when the 2 symmetrical antler growth points fail to separate properly. Instead of forming 2 antlers, they fuse together, creating one central horn. Interestingly, the deer's body typically develops normally. Its fur color, leg structure, and overall size look just like those of a typical deer. However, biologically speaking, one-horned deer often suffer from skull and brain abnormalities, which significantly reduce their chances of survival. One well-known real-life case occurred in Italy in 2008, when a young male deer with a single horn growing from the center of its head was discovered in the wild and later nicknamed the unicorn deer. Extreme wool. In 2004, A merino sheep in New Zealand named Shrek was finally found after being missing for nearly 6 years. For years, the sheep had not been seen and was believed to have lived alone in a remote, rocky mountain area, far from human contact. Because it was never shorn, the wool on its body kept growing continuously, making it one of the most extreme cases of wool growth ever recorded in a sheep. Merino sheep are indeed known for their unusually heavy wool production, but Shrek's case was clearly different. The wool on his body was equivalent to that of about 6 merino sheep when it was finally shorn, requiring a special shearing process to remove the entire thick fleece. The heavy wool trait in merino sheep is the result of selective breeding over hundreds of years, favoring individuals with much thicker and finer wool compared to ordinary sheep. The more folds they have, the more wool they can produce. Interestingly, their wool is known for being extremely soft, fine, and highly valuable in the global textile industry. Black flamingo. On April 8, 2015, bird observers at the Akrotiri Environmental Center, a Mediterranean island region, discovered something far more unusual: a jet black flamingo, drastically different from the species' typical pink coloration. The sighting occurred during a routine bird migration observation and was quickly documented through photographs. The bird was identified through field observations and reports from the ornithology community. Scientifically, this phenomenon is known as melanism, a rare genetic condition that causes an overproduction of dark pigment. This condition has occasionally been observed in birds such as eagles and ducks, but in flamingos, it is an exceptionally rare case. In normal flamingos, the pink color comes from carotenoid pigments in their diet. However, in this instance, a genetic mutation altered the distribution of pigment, resulting in a black coloration, making it one of the rarest flamingos ever recorded. Snouted pig. It sounds both unique and strange, right? But that is the reality. In biology, this phenomenon is called a partial diprosopis spectrum, which is a condition involving the duplication of some facial structures, specifically the snout and nasal passages. What is even more unique is that the two snouts are usually positioned side by side. Physically, the two snouts do not always function equally. In many cases, only one snout is properly connected to the respiratory and digestive systems, while the other snout is incomplete or ends in a blind passage. These pigs may display normal behavior during the early days of their life. Interestingly, this condition is not always accompanied by abnormalities in other organs, although the survival rate is generally low. Snouted pigs are extremely rare, estimated to occur in fewer than 1 in tens of thousands of births. One well-known example was the birth of a snouted pig in Fujian Province, China, in 2011.